Bike has been busy battling. So take it away, guys, for a few minutes. Just before Paul Yeoman and Miss Emma have come in, Mansby as well, legends to me. Thanks so much for coming in, guys. Maybe a few other people. As usual, chat never stops and it's all good stuff. Carlos and whoever else is a Politician Busters, that's a new one. I like that name. Let's do it. So I'll just see you in a few minutes, guys. Thanks.
No worries.
Right, when he said I've been battling, I've just been having a bit of an altercation with somebody in private chat, thinking they know who I am and they're going to expose me, and I'm taking sides and all the rest of it shit. Oh, fucking retards, absolute retards.
Infighting's just not needed, quite frankly. You got trolls and infighting, and that's the two biggest killers for any chat, any live broadcast.
But I've been coming onto these lives for months and months and months, right? And recently I've been getting a lot of shit that is undeserved. I've never wound anybody up. I've never spoke bad about anybody or anything like that. But for some reason I'm getting shit. So yeah, I'll take it on chin, mate. I'm not bothered.
Well, it's the old story, mate. You're only getting flack when you're on target. So you must be saying something that's offending someone else's sensibilities.
Well, if I'm offending somebody by telling the truth, mate, then that's why
exactly.
I'm getting
they deserve to be offended. They deserve to be fucking offended, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But the truth, it's never an easy pill to swallow, especially if you've been stuck in the fake world for so long in your life.
Yeah.
Well, waking up process.
Mate, I mean, same old adage, keyboard warriors. Yeah, they're good behind the keyboard. Face to face, mate, they won't say those things to me. End of.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm not bothered, mate.
No, I wouldn't do that. But it's always nice to beat the trolls occasionally, because you don't want them getting, too drawn out. You don't want anyone to die because you're not feeding them. So you've got to keep the trolls happy, but just not overfed. Then they get fat, less compliant, never come out from under the bridge.
Yeah. I suppose a bit of rat poison wouldn't go amiss at some point, would it?
Not that we're in, saying to anyone do that shit.
No, not at all. No, I'm not condoning that whatsoever.
Oh, God. So what do you reckon's planned for the rest of the year? Where do you reckon we'll be by December?
I don't know.
Where do you think UK will be in December?
I'm following a guy from New Zealand. He used to be some kind of banker or whatever, and he sacked it all off. And what he does now, he just goes out solo camping. Right? You've probably come across him. And this time it was his wife's birthday recently. And I had a camper and I went out. I forget what they call that mountain in New Zealand where they train for Everest climbing.
Oh, Mount Maunganui or you got Mount Everest, Mount Cook. Oh, sorry, not Mount Everest. Mount Egmont, Mount Taranaki. Mount Taranaki is probably the one you're talking about where all the army training goes.
No, I think it was Mount Cook.
Oh, okay, Mount Cook down at Aoraki National Forest.
Right, so that's where he went. Obviously, he's hundreds of miles from anywhere. And then they got the news that New Zealand is now in lockdown because there were 10 people confirmed positive, and they had 48 hours in which to get home, and he were hundreds of miles away in this camper van. He had to get the camper van back, right, hand it over, right. He couldn't use it on the road because his insurance would be invalid after that period. So he had to spend another night outside the camper van ownership stop there so he could get his vehicle out of the compound to then travel home, and he just made it back.
Wow.
It just made it back.
That 48-hour restriction they put on everyone leaving and everyone coming.
Yeah.
So there were like 30,000 Kiwis abroad. They were all panicking like shit, and I'm sort of, let's see, we're in lockdown. Why the fuck would you want to come back anyway? Stay where you are. You've probably got a little bit more freedom. You know?
Yeah.
Anyone trying to leave out of Auckland, there's police checkpoints at Warkworth, which is about half an hour north of Auckland. So anyone from up the north part of the North Island, from Whangarei or the Bay of Islands, coming into Auckland, they get turned back. And anyone trying to get out of Auckland to go up north gets turned around and sent back to Auckland. So they're patrolling all the different boroughs and stopping people from going from one place to another, different districts.
Yeah, I think your government has come down rather too harshly, based on the cases that you get.
Oh, that's just what they say. They go hard and go early, go hard. She likes to say, "Be safe, be kind." She says.
Yeah. So I mean, I've just had a look now. You've got what is it, 31, 32 cases today?
31 last night. 31 last night. So we and it was 22 at the start of the day. So we're gaining about 11 a day.
I live in a village of about 2,000 people. We've probably got more than that. And you know what I mean? We're still walking around, but yet they shut your country down. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense.
Well, there's only about 1 million plus people in Auckland, and the rest of the country only has the other 2 odd million. But half of the population of New Zealand is in Auckland. You know, there's about 1 million Chinese people just alone. But yeah, it's just control and fear porn and getting out. You know, they're trying to get that vaccine out there as hard as they can, as quick as they can. And the local pharmacies, even they're even becoming immunisation centres from the 1st of September.
Are they trying to make it mandatory?
Well, they're now saying it's mandatory to wear a mask outside, which is bullshit. And they are mandatory public transport for face coverings, that sort of thing. They're not saying masks. They're only calling it face coverings. So you can wear anything, you know, chuck him on. He's a mask. You know, they're just trying to see how many people will comply. And, you know, Kiwis, we have Kiwi ingenuity over in this country. We're so remote. We've had to sort shit out ourselves a lot. So, you know, they're only going to squeeze too much. And I knew this lockdown was happening anyway, weeks ago. I mean, there's been what they call a national hikoi, where people just march from one end to another, especially the Maoris. And that's been planned for the 25th of August to the 31st, ending up at Parliament, at the Beehive, where they were planning on taking over the Beehive on the 31st of August. Well, they did that shit last year trying to do that too. And what happened? Lockdown. So we knew it was planned for the 25th to the 31st. I just knew a couple of weeks before that we're going to have another lockdown. And sure enough, here we are.
Yeah. Well,
you know? And I also know that the legislation, New Zealand's passed what's called the APEC legislation. They passed it 2 years ago, and it allows in extreme times of emergency for the military to be used against the public. Now, we've had New Zealand Defence Force members over here who have now left the Defence Force because they have refused to use force against their own countrymen. So they are leaving in droves, and they are planning shit on the 1st of October for the military to start coming in to help the police. So, you know, American posse comitatus.
Very frightening.
Yeah, so I live rurally. You know, we don't have fuck all neighbours. We're self-sufficient. Have our own water, my own electricity. I do everything myself. Because the only thing you can protect is what you can protect by your own physical being. You know, you can't protect your wealth. That's in a bank account that you only have access to. It's not your account. It's the bank's. This isn't my YouTube channel. This is YouTube's channel I have access to. I might like to call it mine, but it's not. They own it. You know, so it's putting into reality what you value the most. Well, if you value your family the most, like I do, everyone lives on the same property. We're all very well close-knit and look after each other. And we know that that's where the buck stops. Fuck everything else that's going on in the world. Sort yourself out. first. If you're not right in your own head and you're not able to look after yourself right, then you're useless for anybody else that you want to help. So you really kind of have to get yourself in that mindset first. Before you can help others, you have to get yourself set first. Otherwise, you're just going to run yourself thin and have a breakdown.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well said, Mark.
Totally agree with that, fella.
Superbly said, actually. I just want to say hello to a few more people who joined. Sorry, guys, you're not on live. Rice and Peas and James Bond. Amiga Coda, I know you asked that question, this one. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. News Now is asking you back, how's he get his chuffing phone back? You don't have to say on here.
Wait a minute, I didn't see his message.
I've just put it up. He just said, right.
I know he wanted some help, and I said, yeah, what is it? But I've not seen his reply, mate. Sorry.
Unless, right.
Can you put it back up, mate? Can't find it.
He just put, can you look into something?
Yeah, I said, yeah, I can. What does he want?
And then he put, how do I get my chuffing phone back? So I don't know if he meant that after his question, but or whether it's something different.
I don't know.
Trevor, yeah, I can go with that one. Rice and Peas, I think is going back to section 60. So anyone who's joined, thanks so much for coming in. There's 83 in. I am hoping Fluke and Mike will come on later on. There's still 2 trolls backstage. You're not coming on, go away.
Right, no, news now. News now. Have you got my phone number, mate? Or have you got my email address? We're all waiting. We're all waiting in anticipation for this.
I've just put this.
Sorry, go for it.
Yeah, Rice and Peas cracking me up. Can I just ask, Steve-O, why did you time out Cockney John? I missed that. I did see you say time him out now or get rid now or something. Why? John's all right. Can you let me know why, please? Because I must have missed a comment or two what he's put.
Right, no,
before you go, Steve-O.
No, just fire an email off to me, asking what you want, mate. And I'll see if I can help you out, fella.
Michael Vine, how you doing?
I was going to ask you, Deano. I think it was last week we finished early. Something bad had happened, and did that all get sorted out for you?
What was that again? Sorry.
You had to stop the broadcast because you got a phone call and something had happened.
Oh, last Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, last Friday. It did get sorted out by the following. Well, it had already gone past midnight, so I was going to say the following morning, but it did get sorted out. I had to. It was just one of them. It's never happened to me before, but yeah, it's been sorted. There's been no problems, and a few people have put comments in saying, "Hope everything's all right," or "What's happened," and that. But yeah, thanks for asking, Mark. But everything's fine. It was a tough situation.
Well,
yeah,
you
Michael.
come out at the other end bigger and better, you're good.
Yeah. My psychology is just soak things in first and then think about it and then get ready for what you have to say and do, rather than bite at things straight away.
Yeah. Well, I always look at it that you're at a high cliff, about to dive into the water below. But are you going to look first to check there's rocks, or are you just going to jump in? It's that simple.
Exactly. Yeah. I just think, I just want to carry on. That's the way I look at it. I don't want drama. I might, you know, we can all get involved with silly things, and I don't regret anything what I've done on YouTube. I've lost. I was on 3.9k. I've gone down to 3.3, I think now, which it doesn't bother me because I know where all that's come from, and I'm sure my subs will creep back up again. But yeah, my main aim is not
Mine
to
will go
like
up 50 and come down and go up and come down. It's just
yeah. To get over 3k for me is massive. Over a k is massive, isn't it? Really, I mean, not compared
I don't
to
know
others.
how long's yours been going for, Dino? Because I mean, I've been going for 10 years to have 3.4.
6 months, Mark. What are you on
so,
now?
So you've got this. I'm only on 3.49 or something. I don't actually care, but I think last time I looked, it was like 3.4 something.
Yeah.
But you know, that's taken 10 years to do that, compared to your 6 months, and you're almost neck and neck. So, you know, the way I look at it, it's the content you put out. You know, a lot of my stuff is law stuff, and I go right into detail. It takes most people will stop watching them because, and unless you actually want to learn, it's not the channel for you. You know, if you're just wanting a good chuckle and a laugh, then watch something else.
Well, exactly that's why I do like to mix it up on a Friday, because they go on for very long. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice, and I've always said, not from the beginning because it's a learning curve when you start doing live streams and things like that. But around a couple of months in, it was like, do you know what? Let me think about my live stream, and what shall I do? Let's make it a decent show rather than just sitting there going, right, guys, what shall we talk about? You know, I already have things in my head what we should talk about, and so the people who come on the panel and in the chat, and that's why it's so interesting. So I just think first couple of hours, nice and light, bring your comments in and opinions, no problem. A bit later on, we normally get, you know, deeper thinking people on, and we start to do stuff like that, and then sometimes that would carry on to the end, or can get caught. And then we finish with banter and a laugh and goodbyes and stuff. So I kind of like the way I do it, and you know, I think it's a good little format, really.
It works, mate. Mark, you want to do a live chat, mate? If you ever want a twat in a chat, I'll come on, mate. I'll sort your channel out for you.
Oh, jeez. Mate, I was doing live chats.
No doubt Leah has already put Mark's channel link up in there.
Sorry, I missed that.
At some point,
I missed that, Mark, because him in top left-hand corner were talking.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I used to do live chats, and back when Google Hangouts was out, I used to get on chats with like Teacup and commonly known as Dom and Jesus of Kayaking and Colin Johnson and all of the old crowd from back, and you know, James Slattery, the Irish builder. I mean, there was some really great hangouts we did like 10 years ago, and then it's, you know, kids, fathers, responsibilities, you stop doing that so much. But I've never stopped going out and recording in public. I highly encourage it, no matter where you are. Like, I was watching BuzzTech's one in the library he was just at, and the guy said, you know, he hoped he died of COVID. I mean, how freaking disgusting was that? But you know, he's sitting there, the library people were all telling him he should be asking permission to film, and he was trying to get it through to them. And I go, mate, just point out all the cameras on their walls. Yeah. There's no expectation of privacy. They're recording me, and they don't have greater rights than you do. So, of course, if they're doing it, you can do it. If they want you to turn yours off, fine, you turn yours off. You got to have give and take. Yeah. So I love that about a lot of these auditors. They're happy to give information because you never refuse stuff. You're always happy to give them information in exchange for something, because it's a give-take world, right? I'll give you my name. It's the Travis type interaction. You know?
You get a live going, mate. I'm sure Deano alone is twatting a chat to your chat, mate.
Sure.
Yeah, you could have a good old Yorkshire on in your New Zealand live chat.
I would totally love that. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's interesting the amount of expat sort of UK people we have over here in New Zealand, working in the health industry, in the hospitals and DHBs a lot.
Yeah, I'm surprised you can understand.
Well,
I'm surprised you can understand me, actually.
Oh, mate, my dad's best friend was a Pommy. You know, I've always grown up. You know, no offense to anybody, Pommy to me just means prisoner of Mother England. You know, and it's meant as a term of endearment, not an insult. You know, but I mean, my great grandfather was Henry Keane, the illegitimate son of Edward VII and the maidservant. He was sent over to Aussie as an Aussie convict. That's where I came from. The other side's Scottish, the Cameron clan. But you know, we've all got sort of, I guess, roots to England as far as all the Commonwealth people are concerned. So I don't consider myself not a member of UK. We're all part of we all bleed fucking red, for Christ's sake, irrespective of the colour of the outside. We're all the same things. We're all 3 minutes from death if you forget to breathe.
Exactly.
You know? We've all only
Spot on, Mark. I'll just put Mark's channel link up on screen again, what Leah's put in the chat. There you go, guys. Pay your respects to Mark. He's been on my live now a few times. Puts great conversation in there and information and wisdom, guys. So lots of respect to Mark. Anyone else new who's joining, thanks for joining. United Nations is a clone organisation, don't do anything. Yeah, keep these comments coming, guys. It's fine. Keep it clean and no drama, but yeah, make some good points if you have to. It's whatever could be a talking point, let's do it. Respect to my sarcasm, absolutely.
Just reading what Sarcasm is saying about Canada and hoping Trudeau doesn't win. I mean, you better. My grandmother always used to say, "You're better off with the pricks you know than the pricks you don't." And at least with Trudeau, you know what the cunt's like. If you get some other guy in there, you know, then you're just going to have to learn what kind of a prick he's like too. So you know, you're better off with the ones you already know about.
Yeah, well,
they're all puppets. They're all just doing, you know, what their leaders tell them to do.
Yeah, well, just look at what America have voted in, mate. I mean, they voted in a prick before that, but he was a prick we all got to know.
Yeah, nice, Steph. Thanks for popping on. Keep going with your magnet fishing. Great stuff. Finding all those pennies. Don't spend it all at once, but thanks for coming on, Steph. As always, Steph's been there from like live stream 1, I think, Mark.
Yeah,
always pops on. Doesn't say much, but do you know what I mean? Always says hello and pays respect as well. Direct Access Media, you're backstage, or someone by that name is. Can I just say before I will bring you on, Zara, I don't know if you're still listening, but I saw you backstage. I know it was you. What happened on Wednesday? I don't know if I should let you on or not, but I did hear a certain person slag you off as well. If you want to, I'll give you one chance to come on, and if you start to cause any drama, I'll remove you. But it's up to you if you want to pop on and explain anything. All right, if you want to come back. Direct Access Media.
Deano, please, mate.
You know who this is, Mark, don't you?
I wanted to forgive someone.
You've not heard this guy before.
It's a crying man.
Just have a listen for a minute.
They call me the crying man. They call me the crying man. They make fun of me. Deano, I wanted to be friends with mostly insects. I wanted to put the differences aside.
Sorry, false name, but I just want to put a comment up by Lee. If you don't mind, if you can just get your tissue out for a sec.
Oh, come on, but
Section 60's come up again, guys, so I think we should all look into that a bit deeper.
He's making fun out of me. Did you hear that, mate?
Can
He
I
said
ask?
that you
No,
get the
well, I
tissue.
am talking on my live. If you can just
Yeah,
wipe
I
your
know.
eyes for a minute while I finish
Oh,
talking.
please. Stop making fun out of me,
Two-day
Deano.
hammers. How are you doing, mate? I've not
I
seen
just
you
want you
for a
to be
while.
friends. I
But
just
the
want you to be
hammers,
friends.
right?
I just want you to be friends with most
Ejecting
people.
Tomato as well. Good evening. How are you doing, my friend? Great to see you as
Dear,
always.
I just want you to be. I just
Have
want you
you
to be
not shut up
friends.
yet? I thought you was
Oh,
wiping your eyes.
Deano, please stop making fun out of me. I'm please a nice
I'm
person.
not
I
making fun
can't.
of you. I was just talking. So can you start again, please, from the beginning, what you were saying?
There's nothing wrong with crying.
Thank fuck for that.
Well, what do you think? No, I just thought I'd leave it on for a minute. What do you think of that, Mark?
Well, you know, I always think that as the host of the show that you have power to mute individuals that are in the group. So I would have muted that as soon as it started because all it was a fucking headache. But I don't know. It sounded slightly Buzz Techish with a slight hint of News Now Yorkshire in there for good measure. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea who it is. Who is it?
Most Loudest, I'm pretty sure you're a new name. Forgive me if you've been in before. But thanks for coming in from minute one. Appreciate your comments and everything like that. So good night to you. Keep well for tomorrow when you're busy, and pop on anytime you want again, every Friday. And Plods is on a Sunday. I'm always on that, and Wednesday nights myself and Plod together. Although I think this Wednesday is going to be off again, like he was. Sorry, next Wednesday he's not going to be there again, like he wasn't this Wednesday, because he's going through some stuff and he needs to sort that out. Okay, how are you doing?
That link that Leah put up about Section 60, it's not the latest thing, but it's the latest thing they are using. People are getting a bit misunderstood with it.
What's the difference then, Biker?
Right, it's the latest thing they're using as opposed to Section 43. It's not the latest act, it's the latest thing they're using. There's a difference. Right, the Act is 1994. I think Section 43 is 2014. Don't quote me on that, but there's that one. But they're now going down the road of Section 60 instead of Section 43. Section 60 gives them more powers. Right, so it's not the latest version of Section 60. It's the latest thing they are using. Instead of Section 43.
They've found another diamond in the rough in their over 2,000 legislative acts that they can use against you.
I can just tell you now to pop on if you want, mate. You've been on before, but he's doing very well, mate, by the way. Very well. Thanks for asking. He did come on earlier in the chat, but like I say, he's busy with personal things. So, Paul Yeoman, I saw you earlier. I can't remember if I said good evening, but good evening. Mark's link, Master Ron, it has been up there. The one and only Leah will most certainly post his link up very soon. We can bank on that with Leah, who's amazing, Mark. She's
on to it, mate.
I've just run out of superlatives, mate. I can't think of much more to say, really. I'm just repeating myself. She's just the greatest moderator on YouTube.
Leah, it's fine. It's fine, love. You did sort of word it, but I understood what you meant. That's why I clarified it. News Now Yorkshire, Section 60 is Section 60, mate. Just Google it, mate. It's only a page long. There's not much of it, and it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty much an old version of Section 47.
Okay. News now, was he just asked, or have you just answered that? Where's he put that?
I've just answered it, mate. That's why I
Right,
spoke.
okay. No, I thought you was answering Leah. No, I thought you mentioned Leah.
I did. I mentioned Leah as well initially.
Right, okay.
And then I
It's
met
hard
Oz.
work trying to listen, look, and read at the same time. Sorry.
Right, shut up, mate. I'm dealing with it. You shut up. You just sit back, mate.
Do you know what? I am going to shut up. I can't sit back. You know I can't sit back. I can't do this for long.
Right,
I don't know what it is.
Right, I'm gonna have to go for a piss now, mate. So you're gonna have to do something.
He's asking which act. Just before you go, which act?
Section 60. That's it. That's
No,
it.
you know that.
It's just section 60.
Of
That's it. Section 60. Research sections. Wait a minute. Let me pull up.
Section 60 of what though?
Right,
Of
section
what act?
60.
Criminal
Right.
Justice Act. What?
Yeah, section 60. Criminal Justice and Public Order Acts 1994.
Thank you.
All you got to do is type in section 60, and it'll come up with it straight away.
Leah's just chucked the link in there in the chat.
Yeah, Lee. Yeah, cheers, Mark. Yorkshire Tight, if you're off doing some work, then please be careful, mate. Massive respect. Let us know how you get on, and just be careful, yeah? And thanks for popping on and saying hello on that. Nice one. Yeah, rice and peas.
Be careful, fella. Right, I need that piss, mate. I'm going to have to go.
Here, you've not run out of pads, have you? Right.
Yeah. No, mate.
Dino, you want to know something funny, lads?
Oh, go on, Ben.
I've just been bollocked by my mate. I've just been packing my bag. And he said to me, what the fuck you got in the bag? I said, I got all my shows and medication for next week. He said, you got more than that? I said, yeah, I got my own toilet rolls I'm taking with me.
Ben, you are an absolute top class star. Zara, I know you backstage. I can see you smiling, right? That's a good sign. It's a good sign. I've seen your little wave there, right? So I'm going to bring you on. Please be all right. Okay? Say hello to everyone. Come on, behave.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing?
And it's especially nice to meet. I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit poorly. You can probably hear me croaky throat, but it's really nice, especially to hear from you. The man Mark, is it, from New Zealand? Because I've got such a political mind, and everything that you're saying, I have literally just had a row. I've just been employed by the DWP. It's a new job, and I've turned down the role because they said that it's going to be compulsory for me to be vaccinated. So I've gone with it back and forth with HR and with the legal department. I probably shouldn't talk about it, but who gives a shit? Like, no, I'm sorry, none of it. I'm just not having any of it. So, yeah, I agree completely with what you're saying. It's going to be a rollout. And the government have actively said that they're not going to, they can't mandate it, but they're going to push the private sector to do so. So they're doing it on their behalf. That's what's happening in this country anyway.
Yep. Not surprised at all. I mean, this stuff's been planned for a long time.
Sorry to go in heavy, but there is more to me. Go on, sorry.
No, it's all right. It's no problems at all. And good on you for sticking up for yourself instead of just yes, mum, yes, dad, yes, mum, do what I'm told. Yes, you know, how many injections would you like to put in me this week? You know, that's just not the right mentality. So it's I've always grown up with the fact that the government's never told me that when I have to wipe my backside, but I figure it out myself anyway. So you know. I'm sure that'll be happening sometime soon over there. You know, there'll be legislation because of the demand of panic shopping on toilet paper. The government is going to make legislation as to how many sheets, whether it's 2-ply, 1-ply, 4-ply, and how many times you can wipe with each hand. That'll be coming.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark, to say,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't want to
So
be
in my
accused of the
opinion, I
same
think
thing. I'm
everyone
just
should have
deaf.
the vaccine. But that's just my opinion.
You're right,
Didn't quite catch
sarcasm.
you.
Okay.
Spot on, mate. Yeah.
What
We
did
have
you
we have
say?
human
Can you
rights.
repeat
Let's not
that?
forget that.
Yeah.
We're not
Thank you.
China.
Correct.
Not yet.
Not yet.
When has the
They're trying
government
real
ever
hard.
taken the power away and given it back again? They haven't. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Once that's taken away from us, what's put into our bodies, what's injected into our bodies, whether it's been trialed or not, this is coming from somebody. And I told the school this. I worked for GlaxoSmithKline for a few years. So
Yeah.
I'm very fully aware of what happens. I didn't understand why I was being egged because I was making the swine flu vaccination.
All right.
Definitely shouldn't be saying this, but yeah. How they get around the laws is we make it for America and America makes it for here. So whatever the stipulations are, they don't count. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they do things in the different jurisdictions to avoid it.
But
And then they
myself
import it, and
personally,
it's all the big thing.
Go on, Ben.
myself personally, I had my first one back in February, but I had COVID back in November and nearly died of it. 3 weeks in hospital. I had my first one then in February. I had my second one in March.
Okay.
How
I mean,
did you do?
we
So are you still safe? Is the vaccine still working? Because I'm hearing 3 to 6 months virility of the vaccine, and then you got to get a booster.
The vaccine doesn't stop you getting it, and it doesn't stop you transmitting it. It stops you being ill from it if you've got underlying symptoms as well. That's all it does.
Yeah.
Same as the flu jab.
Amplified.
Same as the flu jab.
My problem
Do you
is
know
I've
it's
got
not actually
underlying alcohol.
legally classed as a vaccine? So
Really?
it's not a
that's a
vaccine.
good point, James. I mean, I don't watch TV, but I imagine that to be
No.
right. Funny that, isn't it? But look, at the end of the day, we've seen where it's going. A lot of us have, and they're trying to make it mandatory. That's what I think. Full stop. You don't fly over cities and towns in helicopters with megaphones, big speakers saying, "Go and get your vax." Come on, what is going on here? They didn't do that for flu or SARS or things like that. James Bond said earlier on, it's always been around. You're a child, you get vaxxed with all kinds of stuff because your parents, you have to. You don't, but my parents didn't know that. Personally, I didn't get my children vaxxed. Back then, like my eldest is 30. I knew back then, in my early 20s, because a lot of my family before me, my elders, they didn't get vaxxed either. And they have, my father's side, I must say, they've all lived a very long age. My mother's side, this might sound like a coincidence, but I mean, they've most of them never lived that long, or as long as my father's side. My 94-year-old aunt, who's my dad's half sister, has never had a vax in her life. 94. I think the worst illness she's ever had has been a cold or something like that. So you got over it. But she's just recently got jabbed a few months ago because she loves a rugby league sport. And there's a team in France, a couple of teams in France, and she will go to any match, no matter where it is, played away from her hometown. And she's been to France before, just the love of the game, and that's why she got vaxxed. She's paid for her pleasures because they won't allow her to do that. They won't allow her a choice. Do you know what I mean? That's part mandatory in my eyes.
Well, I mean,
it's coercion.
I'll tell you a little.
It's coercion.
Sorry, go for it, bro.
No, I'm listening.
Ladies first.
Sorry.
She is rice and peas, honestly.
I said it's coercion. It's coercion.
94 going on 24. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Paul, I don't think that's you backstage, so I'm not bringing you on. If anyone wants to come on, either show your face or your logo. How do we wake up the sheep, James? Zara, how do we wake people up? Come on, you're intelligent.
How do you wake people up?
How do we
I
do
can't
it?
tell you my secrets.
It is
I'm
happening.
not allowed to say it on YouTube, am I?
People are waking up.
How do you
People
think I
are
got
waking up,
this?
but it needs to accelerate, doesn't it?
Listen,
I think we've
do you
already
know what I've
reached that
decided?
precipice anyway, you know.
If they're not awake, the brains aren't ready. And I've told so many close friends. I've lost so many close friends. Say my friend group was like 1,000 people. It was huge because I've worked in so many places. I've been self-employed for so long. I've worked within this company, that company. I've befriended everyone. I'm dead friendly and approachable. And the more that I speak about this, the more minuscule the people that want to talk to me. And I'm not interested in banal, shitty conversation and going to the pub. I'm interested in how's your brain working? What are you thinking? People don't want to think anymore. So
No.
I now just live in a very rural location, a very closed off life. I've got 2 young children. But like even today, I wouldn't go to a kid's party because they're all about money and bollocks, and they're going to talk about I've had a Pfizer and this and that, and I'm going to want to
Exactly.
punch everyone in the fucking room. Sorry for swearing, but I will. I'm sick of it. You can't turn somebody awake, can you? If they are not up to it, they're not up to it.
No, you're right, and it's best not to waste time either.
Yeah.
Or dwell on it. My circles have got. I'm sure that a lot of us have. The older we get, your circle gets tighter because we get more wisdom. We kind of know what things are about and things like that. So I'd rather keep my circle extremely small. Like Mark said before, your family, and the way you cater for each other and love each other and bring each other up and learn from each other is vital. It's key to everything else, really. I mean, I don't know if you were listening earlier, Zara, but he was a few minutes straight on talk and he just hit the whole nail on the head. But everything he said was spot on, and it starts from there, and then we can move on. Look after number one.
It all goes back to value. What do you value more? Do you value money, or in what do you class as valuable? Money, things, possessions, shit that can be taken from you, or your family that are there to look after you.
Yeah, there's material life, which is what we've been born into, a consumeristic society. Everything's material. People think, okay, you can get a small degree of happiness if you treat yourself to, I don't know, a new car. You can afford a new house, your dream house maybe, or to the smaller things like, I don't know, the first time you bought something minor like a fishing rod maybe, or that can make you slightly happy, but it's not true. It's not real, is it? It's not that real sensation.
It's just the latest pacifier. Everybody needs a new pacifier now and again.
And what comes with materialism, if you look at it, jealousy, keeping up with the Joneses, as we say over here, Mark. I don't know what the term is over in NZ, but things like that, like, oh, how's he been able to afford that car and we've only got, gosh, if only we could have got that. It's a car what someone else has made. That guy hasn't made it. He's just bought it from a factory, a car showroom. He just sits in it and drives. It's not like, oh, look they're saying, look what he's got, as if he's made it from scratch. It's like, no, anyone can if they've got the money, they can go and buy anything they want. But people get jealous over that. People have killed over that. People have killed over it. I remember, right, and it's probably still going on, but I got rid of my TV six-ish years ago. But it was Christmas and it was America. And there was this new, how every year there's either a new PlayStation or a game box or whatever, or a toy or whatever. And this new thing came out. So they were camping out overnight because There's only so much stock and so many available. And they were camping out and queuing up all day long. So as soon as they opened the doors, or as soon as the staff came to the doors ready to open them, all these people were like crowded right up at these glass doors. And you could see the staff shitting themselves. It's like, oh my God, we're going to get stampeded. And that's exactly what they got. And people were trampled on. I think maybe one or two were killed. There were fights, verbal abuse, all that kind of thing were going on, all because of a toy that these parents wanted to get for their child at Christmas to make sure they got it. And then those ones who didn't get it, who maybe wanted it and the parents couldn't afford it, they're the ones who'd have got on the street on Christmas Day when they're all playing with the stuff or whatever. You've not got one of these and we have. That's in the season of goodwill, by the way. Things like that. That's materialism for you.
Consumerism. I got to a point in my life, and me and my ex-husband were together for 15 years, and I went one way. I was listening to like Harold Court's Villa, on living a different life, and I wanted to buy land and not have this big showy off house and 3 cars and all this stuff. I wanted to live off my own land and be ready and teach my children different values. And he actually said these words, I'll never forget it. I still remind him now, because we are friends. But I say to him, do you remember when you said that to me? He said, it doesn't matter what you've got, it's what the neighbours see that you have. And I was like, we are worlds apart. We're just so different now. We've grown apart. Even though we understood what I was doing. I was like,
someone who's worrying about what other people think.
Sell the other car.
You shouldn't live your life by worrying about how other people judge you. It's how you feel and how you want to be. Don't expect nothing, and therefore what you get, you're grateful.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about, for me, it's like in the past when you're younger, it's like kind of everything bothered me, and even like it were people you class as friends maybe back then, but then the older you get, you realise they weren't friends, they were, as we say, acquaintances and things like that. But the only time things hurt me now, if it comes from somebody who matters. If they don't matter, which is most people to me, like I say, small circle. I do have strong connections with people I've never met, which is YouTube, which is my biggest family at the minute, and I've met quite a few YouTubers now, but the ones who I haven't met, like Biker, I know I have a strong connection with because we talk in private and all that, etc. You get that natural human feeling, them senses that you have, which we don't use enough. But if it's someone who matters to me, i.e. close family or a very close friend, then that would certainly genuinely upset me. And that means at that point I would have to make a decision about that person. But for anyone else, whether it's YouTube, which is like a full-time thing, or anyone else outside that, outside that close circle, i.e. the ones who really matter to me, which is 99% my family, nothing else bothers me, to be honest.
And you got to admit, mate, sometimes it's difficult just keeping them happy.
Absolutely. There's a saying over here. It must be the same everywhere else with a different saying, but there's nothing worse than family. you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends, and it could go either way. But there's
only a couple of choices you don't get in life, and 2 of them are your parents. You don't get to choose that.
Absolutely. I mean, I could talk personal now, but I don't want to. But not everything's hunky dory. But it's not that bad either. And you just got to get on with your own life. I've got 2 brothers. They've got their own life, their own careers, etc. My mother's died. My dad's still going. He's not well, but he's still going. I look after him, and we get on now more than ever. But early doors, we clashed a lot. The reason we clashed a lot is because we're very alike. The only difference between me and my father is, apart from all the things in common and that we do agree on, is our beliefs. But in the last few years, and certainly since I started YouTube, he does watch every video, and he's coming round a bit, and I feel so proud of him now more than ever, and I hope he thinks the same of me.
Dino,
So,
do you have him on your lives then, Dino?
pardon, Ben?
Would your dad be watching you live then, Dino?
He'll not be, or he might be now, because he's a massive sport fan, especially rugby league. So tonight, his team, Wigan, which is where I am, who I've always supported as well, and my dad has, they've been playing their arch rivals tonight, St Helens, so at Wigan. They kicked off at 8, so it should be over with now. So hopefully, Dad, if you're listening, how you doing? He's a great guy. He's the most honest guy you'll meet. He's been back. See, this is one of the things that's annoyed me about him. Dad, I hope you're not listening now, but you've been so by the book and blah, 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 blah. Honestly, he's never missed a bill. He's looked after my mother throughout, been faithful. And he's just been a very honest guy throughout his life. And I respect him for that, but he's kind of always believed everything he's been told by that weapon of mass destruction, which is the TV set and things. But I love him very much, you know what I mean? And he knows that, but he's just started supporting me because I've been like this all my life, a pain. And I saw things happening like this years ago. I really did. I'm not just saying it. And he's finally come around to respecting that, especially since I started YouTube. So, Dad, massive love if you're watching.
Deano, just going back to
everyone else who's joining the chat, thank you very much.
Deano, just going back to what you said then about, you know, he's only been brought up with TV and the media. Yeah, my parents were. I was until the internet came about, mate. Same as you, right? The younger generation now, they've now got the internet. They have not grown up with the mainstream media like we had to, like we did, because that's all we had, right? They have now got the internet, and they are now seeing a lot of truths out there, whereas the truths, the so-called truths that we were dealt as kids and our parents were dealt as adults, were from the mainstream media. So where could they go? There's no outlet from that. Now you've got the internet. There's a different outlet, right? My mother, right? I've shown her the channels that I watch, right? She looks at them and she says to me, she says, "What are they doing? Going around police stations, doing this and all?" I says, "Mother, watch them, and just see what happens. This is what's happening now in the country that you don't see on the news." And she's coming round to it, and she's finally sort of getting round to it. So why did they treat people like that? I says, that's exactly it. I says, but it's not just that. You carry on watching, and she's been watching all sorts. I just hope to God she don't come on live one night, mate. I'll shoot myself.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's different generation. Have you noticed how the system, if you like, it deals with different generations? They kind of either subtly bring things in or bring things in fast, and you're born into it and all that.
Yeah, mate, go back to the 70s. Look what we're indoctrinated into us. Right, Cold War. Right, it was going to happen. It was going to happen. It wasn't an if, it was a was. Right, and look at the precautions that they put out for us to take at that time. And you remember the scaremongering and everything else that went on, not just in UK, but around the world, right? And we're talking people our age now. Obviously, people younger than 30-year-old, they're not going to even know this. But yeah, look at the scaremongering that went on then. And people actually believed it. Was it true? I don't know. Does anybody know? We don't. But the scaremongering that went on, is tantamount to what is going on now. But what's going on now is far, far worse, but it is more subtle. And the subtleness that is going out there now is now targeting these people that have been used to mainstream media over the last 30, 40 years that are now falling for it. Right? You've got the younger generation that are now standing up and realizing that, wait a minute, you're talking bollocks now. Right? Because they've had another education via the internet. They've had another source of information.
Yeah, I think it works both ways like it did before. Now it's more intense, technology and that. I mean, they know where we are. They kind of know what we do. You go into a supermarket, they know what you buy, you get your club cards and things like that. It's got all that information on it. They know what, they send you coupons and it's like, how do they know I buy this all the time? Well, when you work it out, it's quite simple.
Yeah.
So you're followed and tracked everywhere now. People still watch TV as well, but it's a choice at the end of the day. I've got all this, I do YouTube now, and believe it or not, it is kind of full time. And there's research and stuff involved with that, as well as going out, filming, travel, all that comes into it. But the TV is a very addictive machine, you know, and it becomes most like people recite what they hear on TV, or they just say, did you hear that on the news, or did you watch that on Coronation Street and shit like that.
I'm sorry if this is interrupting, but my children very rarely stay out because I'm one of those helicopter mums. Like, you just literally, I'm not even a helicopter mum. I just like them to be here. I just like them. I really, really like my kids. So when they've stayed out, they notice a difference, you know, in different households. And
Yeah.
I've said, what's the first thing that happens? So when I wake up in the morning, typically I wake up at 5 and I'll do yoga. Sometimes my daughter comes down, sometimes she doesn't. I'll have a shower and whatever. Sometimes she walks in when I'm in the shower and she's like, good morning, mummy. But she said, I said, what happens in their house when they wake up? And she said, the first thing that happens is you turn on the TV. Now, I've got a rule. There's only so much screen time. And when I say screen time, it doesn't mean an iPad, which they have all these devices. Oh, she's not allowed a phone. She's just turned 8. She just turned 8 and all of her friends have got phones. She's the only one. I was like, are you fucking mental? Sorry for swearing. Who buys like a 7, 8-year-old a phone? I was like, no, you're not having a phone. No chance. I don't even like mine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, in some parents' cases.
And that's
go on, Zara.
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you said
no, it's fine.
This absolutely blew me away. It blew me away because she said the first thing that happens is we turn on the TV. The mum will come in and give you breakfast in front of the TV, not at the breakfast table or, you know, the dining table. Like, I'm like, what's going on? Do you have any interaction? And then they leave you in front of the TV for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
what?
I've seen that many a time, or over the PlayStation and stuff like that.
TV is the baby.
It's just going back to what Mark said earlier. Do you know what I mean? He just hits it on the head for me when it comes to family and stuff. But
I've got to say, you know, like my 14 and 16-year-old boys, you know, one's 6'3", the other one's 6'8". So I'm looking up at them, and you know, my boys have homeschooled for the last 3 years. They were getting bullied at the public school by the teachers and by the students. So that was it. Pull them out, homeschool them, and so it's all online. So when lockdown happened, it wasn't really a big bother for us. We're homeschooling, we live at home, you know, all of the family. When my daughters moved back home, I just built her a little cabin for her and her boyfriend to live in, you know, all good. But the boys are so much better mannered. And like last Friday, actually, just jumping off from you, Deano, I found out that there were 6 kids in a car. 5 kids died. One of them was in the boot. and they're all aged 15 to 16 years old down in my hometown of Timaru, because my mum and dad rang me up to say, hey, look, Stephen you used to belt round with, well, his son died. I only get phone calls from where I live when someone dies or someone's born. But anyway, so I find out that they're dead, and I said to my wife, I says, these kids where we are, they don't realise how lucky they've got it, because one, if we lived in town, they'd have hooligan mates to go driving around and be wrapped around a power pole like those lot, just as much. And these kids were all the same age as my boys. And, me and my wife, Leah, we just looked at each other and says, these guys do not know how lucky they've got it. Being homeschooled, being able to, if they want to go and learn how to do something, they learn it. My 16-year-old's taught himself the piano, the harmonica, all sorts of different stuff, just from self-teaching. He's now teaching himself how to cook. You wouldn't believe the beautiful pie he made us last week. And we're happy to buy the stuff and let him do it. It's not like they go to school and are set taught things and a separate structure, how you've got to make a cake this way. No, mate, you want to make a cake, throw whatever flavour you want in it. Go hard. Use your imagination. And that's the problem I always found, is that teachers at the public schools had problems with my kids being too much of an individual. And that's the whole point. They've got to be their own, one kid is very introverted and 6'8", but would never yell at you. He's got enough power to lay me out, but he wouldn't hurt a fly. And he's just the sweetest, kindest little Leo at 6'8", 250 pound, I'd even know. But
How's this, Mark? How's this? Just going off what you just said. I know a guy, right? He has two sons. One of them is almost a British champion at, I can't remember if it's judo or it's one of those kind of martial arts. And I've been told by this guy, when he's not doing his job as a martial arts expert, he's the sweetest, mellowest, quietest guy you'll ever meet. And his other son is the opposite. Weird, but he's not into martial arts and stuff like that. How mad's that,
It's not mad at all, mate. Martial arts, right? I did it since I was 7-year-old, right? Yeah. It's all about discipline. Yeah, and you learn that takes over you, and then that goes on into your sort of normal day-to-day life.
Absolutely, but don't forget, in a lot of contact sports like boxing and judo, martial arts, karate, and all that, you still get your street fighters, if you like, and it's still a discipline, but you still get the ones who can go OTT. But apparently, this guy's just would never do that.
I didn't want to talk about my children personally, but my son, both the same father, said we've been married 15 years. He's 13, and I'm 5'1", I'm tiny, I'm a little dinky thing. He is 6'3", he's 13, and he towers above me, and he's done MMA since he was 8. And because my little daughter has always watched him do it, she's done it. So they used to say, oh, she can't get in the class, till she's 5 or whatever. She's done it since she was 3. So she was just thrown in the class. She's a little tiny thing. And I got called. He's never, ever had an issue. The school, he called me from the school, secondary school, like high school, as they call it nowadays, because they like Americanisms. But he called me and said, Mum, I'm in trouble. And I rang the school and I was like, what's up? Is it his asthma? What's the matter? And they said, oh no, Ollie's had a fight, in the canteen, in the lunchroom. And they said, he was with his friends because he's like little Mr. Popular and whatever. And he's come from behind. I think he was dared, by his friends to come from behind and hit him with something. But because he had the heads up, he turned around and put him in a chokehold. And he didn't know to tap because he didn't know, MMA. So the kid's gone blue and he's been rushed to the hospital, which luckily was like a quarter of a mile down the road. But the teachers, I said, why have you not phoned me and told me about this? They said, because we're made up, because he's a dickhead. That's what they said to me. And this is a very, very posh school. So I was like, what do we do?
The blind
And then my
leading the
little
blind,
daughter,
isn't it?
Yeah,
well,
absolutely,
exactly. And then
mate.
my daughter's done the same thing. She's done the same.
Yeah.
She choked somebody out. And I was like, Poppy, you're tiny. Why would you ever do that? She's never been mean in her life. She's just like two different kids. It's unreal. He's not aggressive or he's not a natural fighter. He wouldn't want to fight, but he will stick up for himself because I've taught him that. But she's more the aggressive one. And she was like, well, he won me at chess, but he didn't actually win me. So what I did was just choke him out. And I was like, no, that is not good.
Hey, Zara, I'm only being honest, but females are usually more aggressive than males. I just thought I'd throw that one in, whether you agree or disagree or not. I just thought I'd throw it in because I've noticed that with police personnel, when it comes to male and female police personnel. And Kat will back me up on that one. Her channel link's up there on the screen now.
Do you know what?
The hard-working Leah is still putting... Almo, good evening. I have seen people in the chat, but it's not stopped tonight, which is great. It's what always happens and we love it. Thanks so much. Mark Kelly, I know you've come in as well. Thanks for coming in, Mark. Auditing all still there. Hope you're getting on well, mate. Everyone's finest friend. Loads of new names again tonight. Thanks so much, guys. And it's all been positive as well. Superb stuff. People keep saying to me it gets better every week. I can't disagree with that, to be honest with you. It was a bit of a gamble letting Zara on tonight. But after last time, but you've been absolutely fantastic. Thanks so much. You've got the sweetest of voices as well. And you've also had a couple of little love letters in the chat as well. So I think it was Almog who was kind of saying, I'm not really looking. But she's so pretty, but it's like, it was such a modest comment, like, she's so pretty, but I'm not really looking for anyone. So we now know you're single. Okay, Al. Was it you, Al? Not sure. But someone put a good compliment in for you, Zara. Okay. Thanks for being superb tonight. I'm going to have a quick break.
I look forward to catching up with you next time. All the best.